Hey guys, Metal Gear here, and we're coming to you from Monza. It's a daily race C from last week. We are starting from pole position. I am in the Corvette, and we have a great race today, which is a mano-a-mano battle with the V12 Vantage, driven by the Japanese driver in second place. So coming here into the first chicane, we hit the braking mark and managed to avoid getting punted from behind, so a good start, because as you know at Monza, it's usually a very, very catastrophic first corner. You have your entire race ruined, but in this case we get it nailed perfectly. So our job now is to pull out of the slipstream on the first lap and make sure that we can drive off into the distance. So as we come through the second chicane, you can see that second place, he's staying quite close. We've got third place, Unknown Sync. It's a Japanese driver who we had a lot of run-ins with back a few weeks ago when we were at Laguna Seca in the Group 3. I don't think he was in the video that I featured on this channel, but a lot of good battles with him, and we want to make sure we don't fall behind him because he defends very, very vigorously. So we come here on board, we're heading down towards the Ascari chicane. I'm just trying to get a little bit of more warmth into my tires just to make sure I really hook up this chicane, because this is a section where you can really gain time over other people. But as you can see here, we go through and the Japanese driver in the car behind us in second place, he has managed to stay in the slipstream. So kind of our first mission for this lap, which is to break the slipstream, has gone wrong. So he actually has a little bit of a look up the inside there coming into Parabolica. Not really an overtaking move unless you have a big tyre difference. We are both starting on the mediums. Of course, 10 laps here at Monza. It's going to be a one-stop race. And now we come down onto the main straight. First lap is completed, and you can see just how strong the slipstream effect is. He is going to get right up beside me. We look at his car as he takes the outside line. We try and get onto the brakes a little bit later, but he managed to outbrake us, and to avoid any penalties, I just give him the space and let him through, because I know that we have this second straight coming right now, and we can have another go at getting back past. So here we go. I think it's around the Gran. We are getting closer and closer. Going to just have a small look up the inside, but no, think better of it and back out, and we're just going to follow him through here through this second chicane. Very tricky to get the chicane right. You really need to ride over the curbs. That's the key to the lap time, and if you get it wrong, you can end up on the grass and then spinning. So we're going to go through here, back to the TV camera on the Lesmos. We can see Unknown Sync has a 0.5 second penalty. That's another danger of Monza, is the track cutting penalties. Not as bad as what it is in Austria this week's with this week's races, but still you need to be very careful. So we're coming once again up to Ascari. We're in the slipstream, and we're going to have to just follow him through here. Ascari's not really a place you want to be overtaking into. You just lose way too much time, and I suspect that Unknown Sync behind us is starting on the hards. In fact, I'm pretty 99% sure that he is, because just before the race I went into the lobby, the warm-up lap rather, and saw he was starting on the hards. So we'll just speed it up a little bit here as we come through onto the third lap, and this time we're going to go up the outside after the slipstream. So we come down here, we brake a little bit later and manage to make the move stick, so we're back up into first place. Action-packed racing so far here at Monza. As we continue here on the third lap, we're coming through the Lesmo bends once more. You can see Unknown Sync there is there in the background still. We're trying to break the toe from second place Minecraft, and so far we are not having much success. He's able to stay in the slipstream and just get that free time every single time on the straights, catches all the way back up. We come here on board as we ride through Ascari, and you can see we're 8/10 up on the best lap so far, so we're pushing for the fastest lap on this particular lap. And at this point, I know that I'm going to be going either 6 or 7 laps because we have started on the medium. So third place, Unknown Sync, he should be pitting around lap 4 or 5. And we know what we need to do from experience in these races is pull out a 4 or 5 second gap just so that we have that buffer zone when Unknown Sync will be on the softer tire and can catch up to us in the second half of the race. So we actually crossed the line here. We set a 48.7, which is the fastest lap, and because I'm a little bit concerned that we're fighting too much, I'm actually not going to defend this position. I let him get up my inside, and we brake together about the same time, but I go extra wide and just let him take the corner, and we're going to tuck back in behind him into the slipstream, and hopefully just have a couple of laps where we can push and really pull out this gap. Jumping ahead to the end of the 4th lap now, and you can see we're still tucked in behind Minecraft, and he's actually going to run a little bit wide here at the exit of the Parabolica. That gives us a good run up behind him, but we are not going to go for the move. We're actually just going to give him a little push here, just a bump draft. Just so we can try and pull that gap out over 3rd place just a little bit more. Just have a little look up the inside just to check my braking spot actually, and we still just outbrake ourselves a little bit. He was braking a little bit earlier. You can see that on that lap we were a second slower than the lap where I was leading, so I know I do have the pace over this Japanese driver, but it's just a matter of playing the longer game and being patient enough to, you know, not get ourselves a silly little 2-second penalty over fighting, you know, going for a risky move basically. So once again, we're just going to follow him through here, through the second chicane and the Lesmos, and see if we can just stay in the slipstream and continue to pull out a larger gap over 3rd place. And actually, as we come out of the exit of the Ascari, it looks like I've actually lost the slipstream, so we're just going to speed it up here, and as you can see, going through the Parabolica, he has a little bit of oversteer, went a little bit deep, and we luckily managed to get back into the slipstream just about. Are we going to get it? Let's just speed up once more until the end of this straight and have a look. And yep, you can see we catch back up in the slipstream, and we're going to ride on board here as we go through the first chicane. We see how close we get to the concertina effect. He's going to get on the power earlier, pull out a little bit, but we are now back within that 3/4 of a second, and so we can nicely sit there in the slipstream and just let him pull us along behind him. So this is now lap 6. I was planning to pit at the end of this lap, but we're going to jump ahead here after the chicane and just have a look what happens. He gets a little bit wide out there actually, and that gets us right up the side, but we're not going to go for the move because that would just slow us both down. There's no point fighting at this point. We still have the hard tire stint to go behind us. So as I said, we're going to jump ahead here to the end of the 4th lap, the end of the 6th lap, sorry. And you can see we've had a good exit from the Ascari chicane, and we're in the slipstream, so we're coming down towards the Parabolica. I go up the inside, and we're actually going to have a move here for the leader of the race because we know this is the lap we're going to pit, and we get there on the inside, but we run a little bit wide on the exit. He has the inside of the corner even though we have the position, and I know at this point I can't cut across into the pits in front of him, so I actually decide to stay out and do one extra lap on the softs because I know that the first lap on the hard tires, a lot of people do struggle with the traction and just getting the car turned in and slowed down. So I know that if we can do a really good lap on the softs, and I'm still feeling pretty good. I mean, we've been conserving the tires a little bit while driving behind slower than the Japanese, driving at a bit of a slower pace than what we usually would be doing in free air. So I have pretty good tires, and I know that I can do this extra lap on the softer set. So right now it's hammer time, and we're gonna try and set a great in lap and then pull out from the pit stop in the lead, kind of overcut him. So we go through the second chicane there, hook it up very nicely. We're into the Lesmo here, brake just before the 50-meter board, down into third gear, hug the corner nice and tightly, get onto the power, not too soon but not too late, and then down to the second Lesmo, brake at the 50-meter, get onto the curb, once again get on the power nice and early, and we're heading down towards the Ascari chicane. So we're going to stay on board here and see how we go through the Ascari. It can be a little bit tricky on these worn tires, and we're going to look for the path here on the right. We hit the brakes, drop down into third, trail brake in, hit the apex, just feather the throttle as we go around the right-hander, and then onto the power, up onto the curve, onto the exit of the corner, and now down the straight. So it's a very quick lap here at Monza. We are going to come down into the final corner now, the Parabolica. We look for the 100-meter board, brake just after that, drop down into third, look for the end of the curb, and then get on the power. And this time we're going to cut to the inside of the track and go into the pits. Have we done enough? Do we have a big enough gap to get out ahead of Minecraft? So we're into the pits here and changing the tires onto the hards now, coming out. And let's see how we go. Are we gonna stay out in the lead of the race? And yes, we are. We have the gap. It's probably about 2 seconds as well. So we jump on the brakes here, get the car slowed down, turned in. I actually move the brake balance to the back of the car for the hard stint, just so we get that extra rotation into corners. And job done. We have gotten the lead, and it looks like we're also out of the slipstream. So that's exactly what we wanted to do. So as I approach the Ascari chicane, my tyres are still a little bit cold, and I actually end up taking the corner a little bit too cautiously, and you see that Minecraft just has a mega corner. He really hooks it up, and unfortunately all the hard work we had on our in-lap has been erased just in that one corner because he's back into the slipstream. So I move across to the inside just to kind of signal my intentions that, hey, I'm going to defend any move that you make from here on. And we go around the Parabolica, and we're going to see if he can make a move going into the first corner again, what we're going to do to defend. So just on this Monza track, you're a little bit helpless in situations like this where you don't have the slipstream ahead and the car behind does. So we move to the inside of the track. Minecraft, he is on the outside, so it's going to be a straight fight. Who is later on the brakes? As you can see, I brake a little bit later and then I just let off a little bit, but we hit the apexes of the chicane, and you see he gets a little bit of oversteer on the background, in the back rearview mirror, sorry. And yeah, we managed to pull away, so we have another 2 laps of defending, but can we break out of the slipstream once again? It looks like we've gained enough of a advantage just coming out of that first corner to do so. So we're just going to look backwards here as we go through the second chicane. It looks like we get it nice and hooked up. He once again has the wheel spin, has the overslide moment at the exit of the corner, through the first Lesmo here, and down towards the second Lesmo, and it looks like we have now done enough actually to get back out of the slipstream for this straight running down to Ascari. This time as we exit Ascari, it seems as though we have kept him out of the slipstream, so it should be smooth sailing from this point of the race. We're going to skip up ahead now to the final lap and see where we're at. So as we come through the Lesmo bends, first, second and third all in one shot, but as you can see we have managed to maintain our gap back to Minecraft, and all we need to do now is complete these last 2 corners. We'll come on board once more as we go through the Ascari chicane. We brake just before the 100-meter board, get onto the curb, make sure we don't take too much curb here on the right, and accelerate down the back straight towards the Parabolica for the last time. And I'll just take this opportunity to thank you guys for watching if you've managed to get this far. I would love to hear any comments you have about how I can improve these videos. Do you prefer these longer formats where I show almost all of the race, or would you prefer the more edited highlights package like with the races at Fuji? So yeah, we cross the line, take the victory, and it was a fun race. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you enjoy my videos, and thanks for watching. See you again next time.